Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Yeah, you know what it is. Hard worker, scrappy, unfiltered, and sometimes unhinged football content. Hard to explain, but you know it when you see it. Doing it daily our way. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Redraft and Dynasty Fantasy Football, we got you covered. You know their defense is ranked like 31st in the NFL? NFL draft prospects and rookies? Now you know you in the right place for that.
Absolutely.
All right, then stop saying it. Then we're done. And prop bets with my man Jay Rich. Count that money, man. Now wipe the crust out of your eyes. Get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake your ass up with Ray G. You honestly are making absolutely no sense and you sound silly as hell. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. It is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. Let's Wake Up with Ray G, brought to you by our friends, our partners, Prize Picks. Use the promo code WAKEUP, give you a 100% deposit match up to $100. Match you dollar for dollar. You throw in 10, they match you 10, but you might as well throw in 100. They match you 100. Shout out to Prize Picks. We have been modeling. Everybody knows GQ likes to grind the film. I like to watch the tape. It's about what they do on the field. Damn the spreadsheets. But I have to admit, to everybody watching this video live, everybody tapped in this morning, Eric, AJ, Ty, Edward, Roe, Patrick, Ricardo, Adrian, Andrew, Jay Peters, Kevin, I got to be honest with y'all. I've been dabbling in the spreadsheets. I've been dabbling in the data. We're pulling data. We're making models. We're creating projections. We're doing a bunch of shit for the NBA. And old GQ is having a change of heart. I'm loving the data. I'm loving the analytics. I don't know what's happening to me. I don't like it. I don't like that feeling. I'm not a nerd. But I was on the phone last night with Jay Rich and our boy Brandon, who helps run the Discord. And I was like, bro, it's like 10 o'clock at night, and we're sitting here talking about formulas and different charts and modeling. I feel like I'm straight nerd mode at this point. Straight nerd mode. Loving the spreadsheets, loving the data. We got some good shit cooking, man. We got some good stuff cooking for the college football season, the NFL season. We're going to test some stuff out using Prize Picks, data modeling for some NBA player prop bets. We're up. If you just tapped into what we're doing and just prop bet with us, you would be up. You would be up. I think I'm up plus like 27 units right now from the end of February till now. So it's been good for old GQ. I'm happy y'all are in the building right now. Jay Rich, I don't know what's going down, man. I don't know what's happened to me, but how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm tired. Like you said, we were grinding the data late last night. We were explaining formulas and all these things, but I'll tell you something that data can't quantify, and it's Kyrie Irving's point total for tonight, 25.5. It's his birthday, people.
Yeah.
He's 30. He's turning 30. Take the over on Kyrie Irving's 25.5. My goodness. When I heard it was his birthday, F the data.
Yeah.
Over. That's all I got to hear,
F the data.
man.
Over.
Steph Curry just dropped, I think, 47 points on his birthday. So give me the over on Kyrie Irving. I'm loving it. But like you said, man, grinding the data, making the models. Spreadsheet GQ in the building. You change your heart. I like it, though. It's been good for you. It's been good for you.
Got it. Anyways, what happened? News is light. News is very light.
Thank God.
So we had some pro days yesterday. Yesterday was Malik Willis Day. Yesterday, it was Malik Willis Day, and Jalen Weidermeier wishes he did not show up yesterday. So let's start with the bad. Let's start with Jalen Weidermeier, who, for a lot of people, top-ranked tight end in the 2022 class. I am one. I don't overreact to underwear Olympics. It's not how football is played, right? But I always say, what happens during the underwear Olympics, combine and pro day, will affect draft capital. And for me, how I dynasty, a big part of my process is draft capital. If these players, regardless of what we think about them, right, if they get the requisite draft capital, that draft capital will probably yield them an opportunity to get on the field and play. When you run a 5 flat, right, when you run a 5 flat at your pro day, confirmed, official, and you're only 255 pounds, and you play a position that's predicated on some level of speed, athleticism, burst, that's what we're looking for, right? We talk about all the time. Tight end, I don't give a shit. Just give me the athletic guy who gets some draft capital and they get an opportunity. When you run a 5 flat, there is the opportunity. There will be no opportunity. Like, I don't want to say he's done for, right? Because there were people last year, Jay Rich, who had Brevin Jordan as their tight end 1. People had Brevin Jordan ranked ahead of Freiermuth over Kyle Pitts. Brevin Jordan got drafted late, undrafted. I don't know when Brevin Jordan was drafted, but he wasn't as tight end 1. There you go, 6th round pick. And right now, I ask you, Jay, would you rather, in Dynasty, for your Dynasty roster, would you rather have any of these 2022 tight ends, McBride, Isaiah Likely, Greg Dulcich, would you rather have any of those tight ends or Brevin Jordan right now? In Dynasty, if you had to pick Brevin Jordan in Houston or any of the 2022 tight ends, which one would you take?
I think that I would take Brevin Jordan, but I think if I'm being honest, there is room for Trey McBride. I think Trey McBride can find his way ahead of Brevin Jordan with some draft capital. But I think you're right. I think you would take Brevin Jordan. So I think you have to because these guys just don't look like
the point that I'm making is right now, even with the 6th round draft capital, most people or a lot of people, there's a conversation like, damn, I probably would take Brev, right? I'd probably take Brev over these guys. That's his path. Like, he's going to be undrafted, 6th, 7th round pick. He's going to have to make a roster and play faster than he times. That's really what it boils down to. I saw mocks with Jalen Weidermeier in the 1st round. There was a couple of mocks that I saw with him back in the 1st to Green Bay. This was pre-Davante Adams, pre-Robert Tonyan being signed back with him. So I saw mocks with him in the late 1st. Saw mocks with him in the 2nd. He was routinely 2nd, 3rd round pick in industry mocks. That's not going to happen now. At this point in time, that is dead and gone. McBride cemented himself as the tight end 1 strictly off of not running a 5 flat. Greg Dulcich has been doing very well throughout his entire pre-draft process from the Senior Bowl. That's very, very rough for one Jalen Weidermeier. Probably going to have to take the Brevin Jordan path. Now, the good thing, I was thinking about this, man. You know, I've been talking to a lot of people that I respect and trust in the space. Michael Liu. Shout out Mike Liu. Like, that's my dog. Michael Liu is a dope cat, man. Like, we just talk about other shit outside of fantasy. And we're just talking about the space and the echo chamber and how just saturated with bullshit the fantasy space is, man. I always say, be mindful of the content you consume. There are some fantasy creators, bro, strictly entertainment. Like, I listen to them to be entertained, and there are no actionable fantasy takeaways. Like, none. Your entertainment, as soon as the shit's off, boom, pause, move to the next podcast, move to the next piece of content. Got to be mindful of what you consume. And as I'm looking around, I'm looking and paying attention to all the people who kind of put their process out there before anything. Like, look, this is what I'm walking you through what we do. And the beautiful thing about what we do is draft capital is a major part of it, right? Like, it's a major piece of our rankings engine puzzle. Yes, we put out a pre-combine, not pre-draft, pre-combine, pre-pro day ranks. Here's how these players looked on tape, period. We're not factoring in landing spot. We're not factoring in combines. Yes, it's easy to sit back after the fact, after Chris Olave runs a 4.3 and be like, up, top 5 wide receiver. Anybody can do that. Oh, Garrett Wilson ran a 4.3. Oh, I'm moving him. After the hindsight bias is so easy to go back and be like, yo, look, this is where I have him ranked. What I like, what I appreciate about what I'm doing, what we do, like, we're giving you the steps of the process throughout the way. Before any of that shit became available, here's what we think, right? We don't know a damn thing. Like, we're just guessing. We're using our process to figure out. But here it is before anything takes place. Now, what we do as the process unfolds is you adjust, right? Here's where it was, and it doesn't go away. We're not going to delete it. Our takes are out there. They're out there for everybody to consume from February, whatever, before the combine to the draft. We adjust, right? So Breece Hall goes out there and absolutely just destroys the combine to epic proportions. There's no way, even though the film grade had him 0.08 of a point behind Isaiah Spiller, no, we adjusted after that happened. Look, he is an elite level athlete who produced 3 years at a P5 conference. He's got the requisite size. He's got the pass catching ability. There's no reason why we wouldn't make that adjustment pre-NFL draft and go ahead and slot these guys in. You know, we've been all over Malik Willis. I've been saying from day one, I think Malik Willis is going to Detroit at 2. It just makes way too much sense. And this was pre-pro day, pre-underwear Olympics, pre-70-yard throw. Malik Willis going 2 to the Lions. And I think everything that we saw yesterday during his pro day, didn't run, no need to run. What do you need to see me run for? I'm fast. We know that. Look at the size of my calves. I can move very quickly. I'm going to show you that I can throw the ball. Shout out my man, Cody Carpentier, who honestly was doing better pro day coverage than the networks when it came to these players, right? He was all over it, talking to the coaches. That's what you do at the Senior Bowl. I'm talking to Mark Brunell. I'm talking to some of these execs. He talked to Matt Rule. Hey, Matt Rule, you taking Malik at 6? Matt Rule says, man, I don't think he's going to be there. Malik is going number 2 to the Lions, and everything that we saw on TV, heard about him, man, his energy, Jay, is so infectious, right? And I talked about this at the Senior Bowl in January. I said, everywhere Malik Willis went, everywhere he went inside that hotel, players gravitated around him. Everywhere. Like, even in the video that I posted, when Carson Strong and Desmond Ridder and Sam Howell walked out, they were just kind of, Kenny Pickett, they were just together, those three. When Malik Willis was there, here comes Brian Robinson, here comes Calvin Austin, here comes Jalen Tolbert. They're right behind him. Just that infectious personality. What are you doing when the cameras aren't watching? We saw at the NFL Combine. I don't know if it was an individual who was homeless or just needed some assistance, but somebody's recording Malik Willis from across the street. He's helping the dude fix his suitcase that broke. Like, little things, man. That's a leader. He throws that 70-yard bomb in his shorts. He's running down the field celebrating with his teammates. Like, that's, you see that, and those are the type of intangibles that can't be quantified. You cannot put a number on that, and because of this, I'm going to bump it. But you just see that, and that's who you build around. That type of energy, that type of personality is infectious. It will ingratiate him good with his teammates. And I think this is why, part of the reason why, along with his skill set, right, and the talent that he has. Everybody talked all that shit for months. Oh, this class stinks. Oh, Malik Willis is a project. Most quarterbacks are. Very few quarterbacks come into the NFL easy bake oven, ready to go from day one. Most of them, it takes some time for them to get acclimated. Zach Wilson played from day one. He needs some damn time, right? He still needs some time. Mac Jones, I know he started from the beginning of the season, but do you not think maybe had a vet, like some time would have done him good? Like, it couldn't have hurt him at all, right? There's pros and cons to everything. So when you're talking about a player like Malik, and is he somebody worth investing in fantasy football? The answer to that question unequivocally is 100%. Because if he hits with his skill set, with the talent that he possesses, if the stars align for him, and we say that with every quarterback, he will smash to epic proportions. And he's going to be a top 5 pick. I think he's going to, the chances of him being number 1 overall, I think are greater than him falling outside the top 10. I think there's a chance that Atlanta, they're like, yo, we want Malik. They bump him up to number 1 overall. They trade up to number 1 overall to get a Malik Willis. So just your opinion on how, like, what are your thoughts on Malik and his pro day, man?
You were going for a long time, so I kind of lost my train of thought. But
well,
the big
God
thing
damn it,
with
I
Malik
had to get it off my Jay.
You were just going and going. I'm like, okay, I get it. But yes, you're right, Malik. The character thing with the video where he was actually giving clothes out of his suitcase to a homeless person. So again, it just shows when the cameras aren't watching, this is what Malik's doing. You talked about this with me and on the actual vlog and in the video, how Malik, for whatever reason, guys were gravitating to him. And that's something that not only players will notice, but coaches will notice as well. And I think for me, the biggest thing is that we heard the reports out of Mobile that Malik had the best arm. Day 1 was a little bit shaky for all the quarterbacks, but day 2 in the rain was Malik Willis, bar none, easily the best quarterback there. Kenny Pickett looked good in his pro day. You know, his hands got a little bit bigger since the combine. But it's been Malik. It's been the cannon. It's been people gravitating to him. It's been the character. It's been the infectious energy that he brings to the game. Like you said, there's lots of times where we've been saying for a while now, Malik may not be there at 6, may not be there at 5. And now at this point, I think seeing him at 2 and potentially even 1, if the Jaguars for some reason want to trade down, because there are 3 talented offensive linemen in this draft, I think there's a world where Malik could go 1. If teams get desperate enough to where Malik is already pegged basically at number 2, because everyone thinks the Jaguars, they're not taking a quarterback. But if the Jaguars did want to trade down, you never know. And so for me, I think that for a long time, Malik has been my quarterback one. And I think he's been deserving of that because of the upside. But what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks is how do people feel about him? And the biggest thing today, your boy Matt Corral has his pro day.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to be all eyes on Matt Corral because he didn't throw at the combine. He didn't go to the Senior Bowl. This is really his only showcase to prove that he deserves to be in that first round. So it's a big day for Corral, but I still think it's Malik Willis by, head and shoulders above the rest of the pack. Pickett's there because of the IQ and the ability, but I don't think he deserves to even necessarily be in the same tier as Malik overall.
So people are saying that the stream is all jacked up. I don't know. YouTube's got to be bugging. I don't know what's up. What do you think? The stream's still not. It's like some people are in, some people are out.
Some people are out. It's been in and out. I don't know if it's Restream and how it's delivering the stream or whether it's YouTube itself. It's just having some issues today. But we got the podcast. People can always go back and listen back, or they can watch it back later on. So we all good.
This is wild. I mean, pull it up on your end, Jay. Can you see it? Because it looks like people are dropping out, dropping in. YouTube messing up the Dynasty Trade show, man. It's skipping for some people. Stream working just fine for me. YouTube is being a piece of what? I don't know, man. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? But we're live. We're recording. So if it says people keep getting kicked out, I just wonder, is it because I got YouTube up in the background? I don't damn know.
When I opened it up, I had to do a quick refresh. So if you're not watching, you can't hear me anyways. But I had to do a quick refresh. It came back, so it's working now. So we'll see what happens. All right.
Well, we got a lot of trades to get to. YouTube is buggy. Some people are having issues. Some of y'all that have issues, you probably have what's cheap internet service?
How are you calling our viewers cheap?
Comcast, get that
third party. You
got to get that AT&T fiber optic, top of the line net. But you'll be able to watch it later. I'm sorry, some of y'all is going well, so we got to keep rolling. Isaiah Spiller had his pro day yesterday. Times reported from 453 to 456. Comcast. Not working for Jake. Somebody said you need that Australian internet. Damn, Australia in the bill. AT&T dial-up, the AOL dial-up, that's what y'all got, man. Spectrum, Row, we got to, come on, big dog. That Spectrum trash, boy. But back to Spiller. Spiller had his pro day yesterday, increased his vertical jump from 12 inches to 33 inches. Okay, fine. 40-yard time, he didn't test at the combine. 4.53, official time 4.63. Here is Isaiah Spiller's path to relevance. Here it is. Boom. There he is. David Montgomery, right? If he gets drafted with day 2 draft capital, 3rd round, there's Montgomery, 4.63, piss poor 28-inch vertical jump. So at least Spiller beat him better than that. And this is him, right? This is the pathway that we're going, right? This is where he's at. As long as he's a day 2 running back or higher, we're in. If not, we're out. It's simple. It's honestly as simple as that. Right now, running back 1, let me be very, very clear, is and has been for 4 weeks now since the combine, Breece Hall, RB1. RB2, we'll see between Kenneth Walker, Isaiah Spiller. I still love the tape, but that's him. There's his profile. Switch out David Montgomery for Isaiah Spiller, the feet of Saquon Barkley, the power of Ezekiel Elliott, the receiving capability of LaDainian Tomlinson. There you go. That's his pathway to relevance.
You forgot the agility of Sony Michel. Come on.
The agility of Sony Michel. Yeah, the agility of Sony Michel. So there we go. There's the pathway to Spiller's relevance. I'm glad we're done with that pro day. And there it is right there. He does have good footwork. He does have very good footwork for Spiller. And a lot of the NFL draft prognosticators said the same thing. Again, once the draft capital comes out, boom, we'll know everything that we need to know. But let's get into some dynasty trades, Jay. And I had asked the people to send me Deshaun Watson deals. I'm like, I want to see Deshaun Watson. Let me see what kind of trades have done for. It's crazy that it's not working, but damn, I get to see all the comments. Josh says if he gets day 2 draft capital, I'll take Spiller. That's me too. If he gets day 2 draft capital, he would be my RB2. Period. Simple as that. I want a Deshaun Watson deal. So let's take a look. And for those of y'all who can't see today, we'll see. Joe said I need to know why Spiller's speed was never an issue. Like, how did we miss it? It's interesting, right? Because me and Fusuvu were talking yesterday. I went to RA Analytics, Next Gen Stats, he's at 21.5 in game speed. And if y'all don't follow recruiting analytics, RA Analytics, my frat brother Corey Yates is doing a great job with data tracking of players. He actually posted an article or tweet maybe about a couple of weeks ago that basically said there's no correlation between 40-yard dash time and miles per hour speed, as evidenced by Jordan Howard and Ted Ginn Jr. And he talked about Ted Ginn ran a 4.2 at the combine. Jordan Howard ran a 4.6, but both of those players topped out at 22 miles per hour in-game max speed. So play speed, game speed, wait for the draft capital. If he, and no shit, yes, he's definitely the slowest back in the backfield. Devon Achane is the 11th fastest track athlete in the United States of America. So it makes a lot of sense. That's not Isaiah Spiller. Again, there's a lot of data that I think 40-yard dash time in general, gotta be mindful with that. I don't, as long as he gets the draft capital, we're in. If not, then we'll be out. Everybody's saying I need to pay my bill. I got fiber optic, AT&T. We got the best of the best over here. Let's get to these trades. Deshaun Watson. First deal we got, Jay. Deshaun Watson was acquired for Deshaun Watson and a 2024 second for Tua, a first-round pick in 2023, and 2 first-round picks in 2024. Jay, how you feeling about this one? Watson for Tua, 3 first-round picks essentially, and you get a second back. What side of the deal are you liking right here?
3 first-rounders is tough, but 2 are in 2024, 1 in 23, and Tua. Honestly, I think this is a pretty fair deal. I think if you believe in Tua, you're getting a pretty good return for Watson. It just comes down to, I think, whether or not you believe in Tua. But even if you don't believe in Tua, 3 first-round picks for Watson, I don't hate it. Like, you can't really expect a ton more than 3 first-round picks for any player, even if it's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Maybe you want the 4th first, but you're still getting a starting quarterback back. A starting quarterback who just got a brand new tackle in Teron Armstead, who got, I think, like an $80 million contract. So the Dolphins are doing things to help Tua out, to build that offense out. I think it's a pretty fair deal. And I honestly think that if you're not trying to compete and you're trying to unload Watson, I think it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I'm jumping all around. I'm like the internet today. I'm all over the damn place. I want to be clear. I am not diminishing those that performed, because I can't have it both ways. I can't be like, man, Breece Hall blew out the 40. He blew out the athletic testing, and that matters, but then, it doesn't matter. Like, you can't have it both ways. And I agree, Joe. Game speed over, I do believe, Jay, and we've talked about this, I think GPS data tracking is the way of the future. Like, I really do. I think more teams 100%. Are going to start looking at how players perform in game speed, opposed to the 40 is a lot of technique, man. Now, you gotta have the horsepower to do it, right? Even if you've got perfect technique, you gotta have the horsepower to go get it, right, in the 40 yards. But that's just a test of how quick can you accelerate and maintain that for about a 20-yard period, right? I do believe data tracking is the wave of the future to really measure closing speed, burst acceleration. But yeah, it's if you're moving a player up and down, this is all I'll say. If you or your favorite analyst are moving players up and down based off of 40 time, you've done it completely fucking wrong. And there's no other way that I can say it, right? Unless you get the extremes like a Jalen Weidermeier. I don't care how you slice that. I don't care how you slice 5 flat. That just doesn't cut it, right? Like, Spiller goes out there and runs 4.8, that doesn't cut it. 4.7, that doesn't cut it. If anybody out there thought he was going to run 4.4, you were kidding yourself. Like, that was not within the range of outcomes. He was a 4.5, mid to high 4.5, low 4.6 type 40-yard dash time. But in-game speed, I agree. I think that's the wave of the future, and I think we're going to continue to see that as we move on and on, right? All right, back to the trade. I think the best player in the deal is Deshaun Watson. I think considerably over Tua, man. I want no part. Give me Deshaun Watson. if I've got to trade 2 picks in 2024, 1 pick in 2023, and Tua to get Deshaun Watson, and I get a second rounder kicked back to me, I think I'm taking the Deshaun Watson side 10 out of 10 times, Jay, on this one. And we have to assume it's super flex, right? Nobody's making this deal in a single quarterback league. But I'm fine.
So you don't even do you not think the value is even close though? Like, do you think the value is close from just if you're making this trade, you're assuming one is rebuilding and one is obviously competing, right?
Yes. I think it's fine. If you're the side that got all the picks in Tua, I'm going to have to assume that you wanted to cash out. Maybe you're solid at quarterback. Yeah. You're looking for maybe, I don't want to say a full rebuild, but maybe a retool. I think that's fair return. You get a quarterback back. That's one thing when I trade a position, I want another position back, right? I don't want a Baker Mayfield, Cleveland Browns situation where I trade a quarterback away and don't get one back. So if I trade away Watson, yes, I know I'm going to have to tear down. I'll take a lesser tier quarterback like Tua and the draft capital. So I think it's fine. I would like the Deshaun Watson side of it, man. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Next trade. I got you blocked off real quick, Jay. I'll move it out the way. I won't be rude to you this morning.
That's okay.
All right, we got another Deshaun Watson deal. This one's a little bit bigger. So one side gets Watson, Quez Watkins, James Robinson, a 4th rounder and a 3rd rounder this year. So a bunch of trash down here. The big prize is Deshaun Watson. They gave up the 110, a 2023 first, and 3 2023 seconds. To me, this is a smash Deshaun Watson side. 110, the first, the 3 seconds. Give me Deshaun Watson over that package. And it's a 16-team Superflex Start 12 league. He put it right there. I want Deshaun Watson in this deal.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, the depth of the position in a 16-team league, you have to take the Watson side here. Again, these picks, they could be even later, right? Because it's not just a standard 12-team league. You're starting in the second round at pick 17. So that's already a problem for me in this trade. And then as well, like, I know that people think that James Robinson is done, but like, what if he's not done? And so if you can get him just as a throw-in to me in this deal, I think it's definitely worth having. And so it's easy Watson for me. I think that, before we just saw 3 firsts for Watson, that's fair. In a 16-team league, trading away the draft capital is tough, but getting Watson is really the ultimate return. He's a top 12 quarterback, easily should be a top 5-6 option. And in a 16-team league, Superflex, that's literally invaluable.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Some people, it's showing 309 people in the stream right now. It's got to be something on YouTube's issue. So if you can't watch it.
Since I refreshed it, mine's been running the whole time.
Yeah, I'm sorry for those of y'all who can't. You just have to check us out a little bit later. Subscribe to the Wake Up with Ray G podcast feed. And we'll holler at YouTube to get their shit together when we wake up in the morning, right? I don't know what's going on, but seems like some people are good, so we got to keep the show rolling. So on this one, what side did you say? Did you want Watson? Watson?
Especially with the depth of the league, you got to take Watson for me.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. 16 team. First of all, 16-team leagues.
Brutal.
Not fun. Brutal. Kudos to you. There goes. We got another Watson deal. This one a lot more mild, right? Deshaun Watson for the 103 and 108. What side would you want? And let's go super flex. So let's say best case scenario, you get your second favorite running back, whether that's Walker or Spiller, and then you get a wide receiver. You get Drake London. So Kenneth Walker and Drake London or Deshaun Watson. Matt Corral and Drake Lutz, Isaiah Spiller, or Deshaun Watson. This is easy.
10 times
Deshaun
out of
Watson,
10.
right?
We set the bar at 3 first, and we've just been slowly going down.
Slowly
going
down.
I get, shiny new toys, 103, 108. Best case scenario for me in this is you get probably
best case
Malik Willis somehow at 3, which I don't think that's happening.
No.
And then you maybe pray Kenneth Walker, Isaiah Spiller, Garrett Wilson somewhere. It doesn't matter what you get. You need Deshaun Watson in this deal. It's not even close.
Yeah, I think this is an easy one
for this player.
This is light. If I had 103 and 108 and can get Deshaun Watson, I'm smashing accept immediately. Give me that deal. Give me Watson over those picks. That's it. That's an easy one. So I think the one that we come back to, and I just want to revisit this one after seeing Watson go for, Walker and Drake London, Walker and Chris Olave. We saw that there. Go back to this one. Let's just revisit this one more time. 3 first in Tua or Deshaun Watson in a second.
I honestly, I'd like it for both sides. I think this is just a team-dependent trade, and I think it's pretty fair value. Because like you said, you're getting the quarterback back. Maybe he's not a QB1, but Tua could surprise people this year. He may not be a high-end QB1, but he could surprise people. You never know.
There you go. Brett said if you can't get in, that means you haven't subscribed and you didn't hit the like button. If you just do that, you'll be right in, baby. You'll be right in. All right, let's look at a tear down done beautifully. You know, we've had a lot of debate about tearing down off of old Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. This is one done very, very well. Somebody traded away, one of the patrons, received T. Higgins and 2 first rounders in 2023 for Justin Jefferson. Round of applause.
Smash it.
That is a tear down. That's a tear down. If I could trade away Justin Jefferson and get back T. Higgins and 2 2023 first, Rico Strong me, baby. Rico Strong me. I'm in the building. Rico Strong me if I can get this deal right here. Well, don't Rico Strong me.
You don't want that, but
don't Rico Strong me. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. This is great work right here. This is a tear down done right. You don't trade Justin Jefferson for T. Higgins in a second, Justin Jefferson for T. Higgins in a third, 2/3. This is one where I'm like, oh, you want Justin Jefferson that bad? Let's go. Give me those 2 first rounders. Give me T. Higgins, and you can have my Justin Jefferson. That's we don't even need to discuss this, right? Like, this is
no high-end wide receiver 223 first in a class we love. Justin Jefferson's great, but you have to take this. The value's still there. T. Higgins
and I love T. I'm a big T
of what Justin Jefferson will do, and it's still you get the first. It's worth it.
Yes, 100%.
Easy money.
All right, now let's go to Jamar. Let's look at it. These are all trades that the patrons have made. So most of these, the patrons are on the good side of this, right? Patreon.com/allgas, best damn dynasty community in the planet outside the FF Ballers. They are good. All right, so Jamar Chase, George Pickens, and Breece Hall. Wow. Chase, Pickens, Breece were acquired for Zach Wilson, Drake London, Jahan Dotson, 2 first-round picks in 2023, and a first-rounder in 2024.
Man, that is a big trade.
It's a big trade.
So, okay, let's break this down, right?
You got to break it down.
Could you trade – I think where I start is could you trade Breece Hall for Zach Wilson and Drake London?
I'd probably want the Breece Hall side of that trade.
Okay, so then Breece Hall and George Pickens is definitely worth Zach Wilson, Drake London, because Dotson and Pickens are basically equal value right now.
I'm looking at it's a big trade, but Jay, I'm just telling you, I don't think it's close. Like we could try to be nice. We could be nice and try to do the Breece Hall for this Jamar. I don't think it's close because first of all, I wouldn't trade Jamar Chase for 2 2023 first and a 2024 first. I don't think I would do that. And we're projecting mid to late. We're not projecting top 5. We're not projecting number 1. Okay, if you're telling me the 2023 first are guaranteed Bijan Robinson and CJ Stroud, we've got to but we project mid to late. I want Jamar and Breece. Like if you told me I can get Jamar and Breece for that package, I probably would take that. And then you add George Pickens on top of that. That's just gravy. That's icing on top of the cake. I don't think you could try to jig it around however you want. Fine. Breece Hall or Drake London. Let's just go 2022 class. Breece Hall or Drake London and Jahan Dotson, right? You want Breece Hall.
Yeah, that's Breece Hall. That's like what, the 108 and the 203?
Right. You want Breece Hall. Exactly. So let's go ahead and cut that out right now. So now you got Jamar Chase and George Pickens for Wilson in the first. This is Chase side. This is a beautiful job. Too. To me, this is a masterful job of like packaging up some good assets and making the package look better than what you're really getting, right? I think this was fantasy footboy. Good job of packaging, and I get it. That's 6 assets. Like I get it. That's 6 assets. Dalton's saying it. That's 6 or 7 first. But I know what Jamar Chase is now. Like, dude was as 1,500 as I know what he is now. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. We have no damn clue how good Drake London or Jahan Dotson will ever be. And you could say the same thing about Breece Hall and George Pickens. But what we know is Breece Hall's got top 10 dynasty value right now. So even if you don't believe in Breece Hall for whatever reason, you don't believe he's going to be good, the community values him as a top 10 running back. So there's value in having Breece Hall. Like, you could trade Breece Hall and go get multiple first-round picks if that's what you wanted to do. To me, it's Jamar Chase and George Pickens, that side. Jamar Chase, George Pickens, Breece Hall over that package. To me, these are good trades. What I'll say about every trade that we've shown, these make you think, right? Because even I saw this, I'm like, damn. All right, Drake London. All right, the first. You get a quarterback in Superflex.
You know what it is, I think? I think it's trading that top. Like, we view Breece Hall as probably a top 8 to 10 running back, like, currently.
Correct.
To trade that away and have nothing back, when if you have Breece Hall, like, you're expecting him to produce and be a valuable asset for your team, that's when some of these trades can go sideways for me, is when you trade such a valuable asset to not only your team, but in general, and don't even get that position group back. Getting those receivers back for Chase, yes, you need that, but none of them are going to be realized at all. You don't know what the hell you're getting, and you're not even getting a running back back. That, I think, is where this trade is really bad. Not really bad, but where it fails in my criteria for a trade.
Let me just ask you this. Would you trade, if you had Jamar Chase and I offered you Drake London, Jahan Dotson, and a 2023 first, would you accept that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way.
Okay.
I think for me, if I'm trading Chase, I'm trading him.
Hold on. Let's just play it this way. All right. All right. You say no, Ray, I'm not doing that. And I was like, Jay, I'll kick in a 2024 first on top of that. So now you get Drake, Jahan, and 2 firsts for Jamar Chase. Would you do that?
No. So
at that point right there, that's the entirety of the deal. Like, Jamar Chase, you cross that out. Yes, this is the Jamar Chase, Breece Hall, George Pickens side. I
There's just too much unknown, right? Going from Chase to Drake unknowns. And going from Breece to nothing is like, you're talking about tearing down 4, 5, 6, 7, like even 8 tiers. You have no idea what those guys are going to get you and where they're going to fall in line. We know where the value is from a production standpoint. You're just praying they end up being good.
Yeah.
You pray they end up being 50% of Jamar Chase.
All right, let's take a look at Antonio Gibson. Another T. Higgins one, man. So let's see. T. Higgins was shipped off along with the 201. So T. Higgins in the 201 traded away, and this individual received Antonio Gibson in the 210. So T. Higgins and Jahan Dotson, T. Higgins, George Pickens, T. Higgins, Chris Olave, maybe Christian Watson, or Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. That's this trade. What do you think?
So I want to quickly side note, because I want to give Scott Connor some love, because he put out a thread today talking about running backs outside of the top 8 and basically claiming that if you're not shooting for running backs that are in the top 8, then you're kind of not doing dynasty wrong, but the difference in points per game between running backs 8 through, I think, 20 is around 4 points per game. And all of the production that you shoot for with high-end running backs comes in the top 8 running backs, right? So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Antonio Gibson, not a top 8 running back, probably will never be a top 8 running back. And so at that point, trading him away for T. Higgins makes sense because you're getting a higher valued rookie pick. You don't have a top 8 running back. You can easily replace that guy with a guy who's, RB12, RB16, a plug and play guy year to year, week to week, not a streamer, but definitely not an RB1, high-end RB1. And you're getting borderline wide receiver 1 production. And if you do get a Chris Olave, the difference between a Chris Olave or a Christian Watson and a Brian Robinson, in my opinion, is fairly large. While there is a big talent, like we talked about, I think the top 18 picks we like in this draft. We think you're going to be getting a solid player. But once you get to the back of that second round, you're really hoping and praying you find a good landing spot or a guy you really like and kind of shooting for that RB talent like we talked about, or you can flip it down the line. I really like this move, trading away Gibson for Higgins. I get the positional scarcity of running back, but I think that, we've talked about how it's Antonio Gibson's prove it year. T. Higgins ain't going nowhere. his value is pretty much locked in for the next 2 or 3 years. It just depends on whether or not he re-signs in 2 years. With Gibson, he could be finished from a fantasy asset standpoint by the end of this year and maybe even mid-season. And that's why I don't hate this move overall. What are your thoughts with this in Gibson versus Higgins?
I mean, I'd rather the T. Higgins side. Give me T. Higgins and Jahan Dotson. Give me T. Higgins and Christian Watson, T. Higgins and George Pickens. This is make or break year for Gibson, bro. Like, it's year 3. They brought J.D. McKissick back, which is not good. You got YOLO wins. I like Gibson still. Is there a world in which I think he can be a top 8 back? I do. I still think he's got that in him. Like, you got to understand, this is truly only going into his 3rd year playing running back full time. So he's still learning the position. But man, I feel like like the side that got Higgins in the second really made out like really well in this side. And I traded for Gibson in the league the other day. I traded Jameson Williams. There was something else. There was something else in that deal that I gave away of significance to get Antonio Gibson. This was pre-J.D. McKissick. Yeah. I want T. Higgins, man. I want T. Higgins in the second.
I think for me, if you wanted to make a move like this, I think you have to do it knowing that you probably want to flip Gibson for maximum return in season. Like, I think that's the only scenario where I would make a move like this. I have Gibson in a few leagues, but this is the year where I think I'm going to try and flip him.
Are we full-blown panic on Gibson? Like, what? I guess
so. What I'll say about Gibson, and I made this comp to you and the patrons, like, whatever, a couple weeks ago, it feels like now. But I view Antonio Gibson kind of like Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon came into the NFL. You know, he had some issues, but the talent was always there. It always showed Oklahoma. He could catch passes. He could run really, really well, but he never caught enough passes to where he was super valuable. But his value in the dynasty community always stayed super high, and people would draft him really high, but he would disappoint. And I view Gibson in kind of the same light. You know, I believe they're similar draft capital because they might have both been 3rd-round picks. Gibson did have 10 touchdowns his first season, right? Which gave him that huge elevation. If he catches passes, if he does all this stuff, and he didn't really do a whole lot in what we expected to be a larger role. And so if this year he goes into the same thing with the same role, same production, he's going to disappoint again because we're seeing him go as like RB7, RB8 off the board because people still view that high ceiling there. Now, I'm not sure exactly where that leaves him overall, but I'm fearful that he will bottom out the way that Joe Mixon didn't, and he won't get that production. At that point, you're holding an asset that is depreciating at a very high rate because once these running backs fall off, it's very difficult for them to get that value back. And so if you're taking him in the top of this, like 2nd round, 3rd round of startups, you have to be mindful that he could bottom out by mid-season this year. So you have to really be careful with your Antonio Gibson shares because if he doesn't start off hot, if he hasn't played very well, I think there is a world where you could really, really lose a ton of value from a startup.
I don't want to hear this shit. Don't say this, man. Don't do that. All right, next trade. You literally just gave me a headache listening to that. I don't want to hear that about Gibson. Top 5. I'm speaking it into existence. All right, another big trade. Let's work through this one. We got my man Chase. Shout out to the Heisman patrons, man. Chase. He grabbed Josh Jacobs, CeeDee Lamb, J.K. Dobbins in the 111 this year by trading away Joe Mixon, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Jones in the 210. All right? We can't hear you. You're on mute.
This is a great trade. I really do like this trade a lot. I think he's getting a ton of value. He's obviously getting a ton of youth as well. Just going from Cooper Kupp to CeeDee Lamb alone. That's feels like 30 years worth of difference in terms of age because Cooper Kupp's almost 30. Joe Mixon, he's got to be 26. Aaron Jones, I believe, same draft class, also 26. You're getting J.K. Dobbins, who's younger. Josh Jacobs, who's younger. You're going to take a little bit
Aaron Jones is 27.
I think he's old. I know he's that. He's older.
So he'll be 28. He'll be 28 this year. He'll be 28 in December.
Wow. He will be good. And you'll take a small production hit, but what you're getting from an age perspective, I really like. I want to know your thoughts on Dobbins, though, because I've been hesitant with Dobbins this year. I think his value is still higher than I'd like it to be, but he does have, a great offense, lots of running. He's got the TD Vulture King himself, Lamar Jackson, but we can only control what we can control. So where are you at with Dobbins, and how do you view him relative to this deal? And, of course, we didn't even mention 111 for 211 is another one round upgrade on that pick. You can get a higher valued wide receiver. maybe even a running back, quarterback, who knows.
So,
But you're
okay,
getting that tier up from that perspective.
you make this trade knowing good and well that Cooper Kupp probably going to smash again this year. Like, you already know it.
Yep.
Like, he's going to smash again. You make this trade knowing that Aaron Jones probably going to smash again this season. Probably going to be very good. No Davante Adams. Aaron Jones probably pretty good. Joe Mixon, I'm a big fan of Joe Mixon. I think he's locked and loaded top 10. You make this trade knowing that this is a deal that may not, you may lose points in 2022. But in the long run, I believe getting CeeDee Lamb, getting the 111, I'm cautiously optimistic for J.K. Dobbins, but I do think the value is a little bit higher than I like it right now at this moment. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out, because let's not forget, Lamar is going to run the ball. They brought Gus Edwards back for a reason, because he was going to be involved in the offense. I think Josh Jacobs does have a little bit of a stock boost, right? Like Josh Jacobs, a little bit of a stock boost up. But this is a deal where Chase has to know Mixon, Jones, Kupp will probably outscore Jacobs, Dobbins, Lamb in the 111 this year. But moving forward, I don't hate it, man. I think the best players in the deal today are the side on the bottom, are Kupp, Mixon, and Jones. Like, I have more confidence in them in 2022. But beyond that, what's Aaron Jones, going into his age 28 season? Cooper Kupp going into how old is Kupp? 29? 29 going 30. CeeDee Lamb poised to be the one.
You're getting ahead of all of these guys, which is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's never a bad thing to get ahead of some of these guys, because we don't know when Mixon could drop off. We don't know when Jones could drop off.
It's another good one, man.
I don't really know. Where do you think they're going to drop off after next year? Because I kind of don't. I think they're going to be pretty good for the next 2 or 3 years. The issue for me is not so much the production drop off, is that we know the value will drop off. People aren't drafting 26, 27, 28-year-old running backs very high in Dynasty right now. So to trade those guys away to get those assets, you need to kind of give a little bit. And I think you got some good players in return to get a little bit younger.
Patrick just called it good contender versus retool trade. And a lot of people saying Jones likely gone. You're getting ahead of it. You're getting ahead of Aaron Jones potentially being gone. You're getting ahead of shit, right? Still a little, we got to wait and see on J.K. Dobbins. I'm cautiously optimistic, but we still need to see. All right, let's take a look at this last one. Allen Robinson. We got an A-Rob deal. A-Rob, Zach Wilson in the 301 for a 2023 first and a 2023 second. If this is super flex, give me A-Rob and Zach Wilson, man. Yeah. A-Rob, Zach Wilson, and the 25th overall rookie in this class. That's what the 301 is. You get a top 25 rookie from this class. What does that mean? I don't know. Maybe nothing, but you get a top 25 rookie for we project mid to late. If this is the 101, and that's Bijan Robinson or CJ Stroud, maybe we have a different conversation. But right now, I think I want Ty's side of this deal. I want A-Rob, Zach Wilson in the 301.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about how you would trade Allen Robinson for a 23 first, but if you're getting Zach Wilson and the 301 in return, I think this is a great trade. And while, it's kind of a win now move a little bit, but Robinson isn't super old. He's going to be playing with Stafford for his entire contract now that Stafford got extended. And then on top of that, you still get Zach Wilson, who is a great developmental QB, should see some more weapons added to his offense this year, already upgrading at the tight end spot. So I think it's a great position to be in, and I think great assets in return for those 2 picks. I'd make it.
Yeah, James's mom. Shout out. She watches the show as well. Good morning to you, ma'am. Thank you for tapping in to wake up. All the mamas tap into our show. My mama don't even tap into the show. That's dope. Appreciate it, James. Ty, we just talked about your trade. Who wins in a fight, Kettlebell Ray or Spreadsheet Ray? Oh, man. Spreadsheet Ray is diving deep right now. Spreadsheet Ray's got a lot of stuff cooking. I wouldn't want to mess with Spreadsheet Ray. Appreciate the support, Ty. And we got one more from Sebastian. Hey, gents, love the work you do. I have 103, 105, 108, 111. Well done. Single quarterback. I try to package picks to move up. Should I try to package picks to move up? 101 for Hall or stand pat and make picks at 3 and 5?
I don't think I would. I love
I
Hall, but even if I could
if
get
if
Walker
all it,
and Spiller,
yeah, but if all it takes is 3 and 5 to get Hall and he still has 8 and 11, I would need to see the
that's a
whole
lot,
team.
though.
I would
Yeah,
need to see the whole. I get it, but you're not
it's a
getting
maybe.
Walker in a single quarter. You're not getting Walker. If it's going to go Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker, or Spiller at 2. Like
I don't
it's
think
gonna
that's a
it's gonna be
guarantee, though. I don't think that's a guarantee.
if the running backs get the draft capital, if they get day 2 draft capital, those 3 running backs are probably coming off of the board first in single quarterback leagues.
But Ray, think about it from this perspective, right? Let me give you another scenario. Garrett Wilson and Drake London go top 10 in the NFL.
Okay.
And these guys go, second round, potentially even third round. We know that that's fine for running backs. But if you see these guys, and I think it was in Damien's mock and in Kuiper's mock, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, both top 10, right? So, again, a lot of guys, it's hard to ignore a top 10 wide receiver because we've seen the production they've gotten in the NFL, right? So to take a top 10 wide receiver over a second-round running back, I think that's fair. I think you're going to see that in leagues for sure.
I would need to see his team. I think I would say if 3 and 5 is what got me Brees Hall, I would be inclined to do it. I'm just telling you. Like, especially he's got 8 and 11. So, I mean, really, you're only trading one of those. Like, you're trading 2 picks, but you're really only moving 1 because you're getting the 101 in return for. So you're really only moving. You're moving 2, but you're only losing 1 pick value, right?
Yeah,
I think
and you're still getting the best player from a value perspective by a mile.
I think I would do it. I would, if all it took is 3 and 5, I probably would do it. But I definitely understand what you're saying. I just think there's a little bit of a gap between Brees Hall, and I have him that way, tiered, right? Brees Hall's in a tier of his own. I think there is a gap between Brees Hall and Spiller or Walker, and I would be taking Brees Hall over all the wide receivers. I would probably do it if that's all it took, but I can definitely understand Jay Rich's point of saying stay pat, take whatever running back's there for you at 3, and then you get the second best wide receiver potentially off of the board at 108. Got another super chat question. Shout out to y'all. Love the content. Keep up the great work every morning. If Cowboys played the Raiders, who you got, Ray? It's like putting both my kids together, man. You can't ask me this, Marlon. I love both teams.
I got the Raiders.
I love both teams. I love both teams.
Got to be the Raiders.
I'm a diehard Raiders fan. All right, here we go. Last one. Hey, fellas, last night in the 12-team PPR Superflex League, I traded CeeDee Lamb in 102 for Elijah Moore, Brees Hall, and the 111. Which do you prefer? CeeDee and Malik or Elijah Moore, Brees Hall, and Jamison Williams? Which one do you like? Both are rebuilds.
Oh, man. If it's J-Mo, that's tough. That's tough. I think I would still take CeeDee in the 102, though. I really do.
Oh, man.
I think CeeDee and Malik for Elijah, Brees. And if it's J-Mo, that's a different conversation. If it's like Chris Olave.
We're going off of the ADP. That's J-Mo. That's J-Mo. It's Elijah, Brees, and J-Mo. This is a great one to go out on. CeeDee and Malik. Or Elijah, or let's flip the script. CeeDee and Brees or Elijah, Malik, and J-Mo. What would you do?
Then it's Elijah, Malik, and J-Mo. I think Malik is the guy I just want. I think that, CeeDee is great. I love Elijah, but man, Elijah and J-Mo could be good. Could be real good.
So,
that's tough,
all right,
though.
let's go back to the original. Let's go back to the original. CeeDee and Malik or Elijah, Brees, and J-Mo?
Oh, man. I think it's a coin flip. It really is for me. I like CeeDee and Malik, but Elijah, Brees, and J-Mo?
Yeah, no, this is a good
rebuild. Okay, Ray, what I will say, and if you're rebuilding, though, do you really want Brees? Not to say that you don't want Brees, not to say you don't draft Brees, but if you're rebuilding, like I always tell people, if I'm rebuilding, I usually find my running backs last because they have the shortest shelf life, right? You can draft a wide receiver, have them for a long time. Depends on where you're at. I still like Brees, though. I think I would probably take the Elijah, Malik, J-Mo side.
Okay.
Or if it's the other way,
I want the Elijah Moore side, man. Elijah, the 101, and the Yeah. Oh, that's a good. These
and
were
111.
today's trades in Super Chat. These were good. I like shit that makes you think a little bit, right? I know some of them we look and we're like, oh, that's easy, that side. But most of these were good. These are good deals. Yeah. We went into overtime a little bit, Super Chat. That's okay. And again, if you're watching and YouTube was messing up, it ain't us. We do the same thing every morning. I don't know what the hell's going on. Jays is still playing on your end. I am sorry.
Yeah, it's been playing the whole time.
We'll figure it out. And for those of you who have the Comcast or Alltel internet service, update your Spectrum, Time Warner. We're gonna have to upgrade your internet so you can watch old GQ and Jay Rich in 4K. Yes, thank you, John. Smash the like button, subscribe to the content. Tomorrow we're gonna be taking a look at another industry mock draft. Look at John with the shirt and tie on. Smash that like button, baby. We appreciate y'all tapping in. YouTube will get their shit together tomorrow, and we'll be back in the building. And we got a giveaway coming out. Everybody that wakes up with us in the morning, just stay tuned. I'm giving some shit away to y'all because I love you. I appreciate you. Let's have a good day. Be great. See y'all tomorrow. Wake y'all ass up with Ray G, baby. We out.